Imagine waking up one morning, glancing in the mirror, and realizing your body no longer looks like your own. That's exactly what happened to her. Overnight, her skin had taken on an eerie bluish hue. Her lips were purple, her hands were tinted as if the life was draining out of them, and even her eyes had a ghostly shade of blue. She wasn't sick. She wasn't injured. She had gone to bed perfectly fine. But now, standing frozen in front of the mirror, she looked like she was slowly suffocating, even though she could breathe just fine. Panic set in. Was this poisoning? Some hidden disease? Or was her body shutting down for reasons no one could explain? By the time she rushed to the emergency room, the doctors thought they were looking at a patient on the brink of death. Blue skin usually means one thing: no oxygen. But when they checked her vitals, what they discovered didn't add up. At all. And the real cause behind her condition would leave everyone in shock. Her oxygen levels were perfectly normal. How could a woman look like she was drowning, yet breathe normally? This was no ordinary illness. This was the beginning of a medical mystery that would shock everyone involved. The emergency room was tense. Nurses moved quickly, attaching monitors, taking blood samples, and checking her airway. Everyone expected her oxygen saturation, the reading that tells how much oxygen is in the blood, to be dangerously low. But the monitor flashed 97%. That was a healthy number. The doctors exchanged confused looks. If her oxygen was normal, why was she turning blue? The woman, equally frightened, asked, "Am I dying? Why do I look like this?" The medical team couldn't answer her yet. They needed more information. The doctors began running through possibilities. Could it be cyanosis from heart failure? No, her heart sounded strong. Could it be a lung disease like asthma or COPD? Her breathing was steady and clear. Could it be cold exposure or circulation failure? The hospital was warm, and her pulse was normal. Every common cause was being ruled out one by one. But then came the blood test. When the nurse drew blood from her vein, everyone noticed something strange. Instead of the bright, cherry-red blood that normally comes out, hers looked thick, dark, and chocolate brown. This was the first major clue. The unusual color of her blood pointed to a rare disorder most doctors only read about in medical textbooks: methemoglobinemia. Here's what happens in this condition. Normally, hemoglobin in your red blood cells carries oxygen from your lungs and delivers it to your tissues. But in methemoglobinemia, the hemoglobin gets chemically altered into a form that can still carry oxygen, but refuses to release it into your body's tissues. The result? Your blood is technically oxygenated, but your skin and organs are starved, and the body reacts by turning blue. It's as if your body is drowning from the inside, even while breathing normally. Now that the doctors had a name for her condition, they still needed the trigger. Methemoglobinemia doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Something causes it. So they began asking detailed questions. Had she been exposed to chemicals? Did she work in an industry with dyes or nitrates? Was she eating unusual food? Or was she taking any new medicines? At first, nothing stood out. But then she mentioned something almost too ordinary to notice. She had been taking painkillers regularly for headaches. This was the hidden culprit. Some medications, including common painkillers and certain antibiotics, can trigger methemoglobinemia in sensitive individuals. In her case, the medicine she thought was helping her was actually the very thing making her turn blue. Now that the doctors knew what they were dealing with, they had to act quickly. Methemoglobinemia can be fatal if untreated. If her blood continued to hold oxygen hostage, her organs would eventually shut down. The team prepared the antidote, ironically called methylene blue. Yes, the very medicine that would save her life was itself blue in color. Injected carefully into her bloodstream, It works by converting the abnormal hemoglobin back into its normal form, restoring the body's ability to release oxygen. The doctors explained what they were about to do. The woman, frightened but hopeful, agreed. Within just a few hours of treatment, the change was dramatic. Her lips slowly turned pink again. Her skin regained its normal shade. Even her blood, once brown, flowed red once more. The terrifying transformation was finally reversing. For the doctors, this case was both shocking and humbling. Here was a woman who appeared to be suffocating, her face blue, her body in distress, yet her oxygen monitor showed normal readings. It was a reminder that machines don't always tell the full story. Sometimes doctors have to look deeper, ask more questions, and think beyond the obvious. And for the patient, it was a life-changing experience. Something as routine as a painkiller had nearly taken her life. Methemoglobinemia is extremely rare, but cases have been reported around the world. It can be triggered by certain drugs, like painkillers or antibiotics, chemicals in food preservatives or fertilizers, even household products, like benzocaine in numbing sprays. Most people will never experience it, but when it happens, it's a race against time to recognize the signs and treat it before it's too late. This case reminds us how delicate the human body is. The same blood that keeps us alive can suddenly betray us, and the same medicines we trust can sometimes turn against us. In the end, the woman survived her ordeal, but her story lives on as one of the most shocking medical mysteries ever documented. A woman, normal one day, suddenly blue the next, with normal oxygen levels, yet her body was starving for air. And the cure? A dose of a medicine that was blue itself. Sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. Subscribe for more interesting case studies.